It's a beautiful day here at James Slater Field. Welcome back this year. It's a new season. We're gearing up for Friday night, and with a new season comes new expectations. Griffin, what do you think about, we've got a 9-game schedule this year. What's your team expectations, and what's a game that you kind of want to highlight when talking about importance of this game and if it's a key game in our schedule?
I don't think this is that much of a key game. I mean, it's kind of an out-of-conference game, but I think Plainfield would be a pretty good game this season. I mean, it was a good game last year, but Plainfield's got a lot of incoming seniors that have just started that are really good players. Yeah,
Plainfield with those seniors have been playing against our seniors for years. I think a really big game is going to be Decatur. Kind of our new rival in the past couple of years. It's going to be hard stopping a couple of their key players this year, but I think if we really focus on that game and we win that game, we have a good chance to go deep into the playoff and do a playoff run later this season. Talking about our seniors and everything else, who would you say are some key returners on the team this year?
Definitely Jordan Palmer, Slate Valentine from the offense and defense.
What do you want to see from Slate Valentine this year?
1,000 yards rushing.
1,000 yards rushing. I'm looking to see a lot more yards on the ground from him this year. But I think we're gonna throw the ball a lot more this year. We saw in the scrimmage that we could do that. It's just if our guys can keep it in their hands and take it downfield, that's going to help us a lot. Slate's definitely going to be our workhorse again this year, as he always has been. Just as long as we can get those blocks and open up those gaps on the offensive line, I think that Slate's going to be a big offensive key. Flipping it over to the defensive side, I think Jordan Palmer and Clayton Ratliff are going to make a big difference this year.
Yeah, and also Aiden Schaefer on the D-line.
Aiden Schaefer, yeah. I'm looking for Jordan Palmer to lead the state in tackles this year. I wouldn't mind seeing that. Jordan Palmer's been on varsity since he was a freshman. He's always been balling out. Who do you see some guys stepping up this year?
I'd say probably just Clayton and Jake Clemmy. Jake Clemmy's he played half the season last year, but he's still a little inexperienced, but he's going to pick it up this year, and he's going to make a big difference on the defense.
Yeah, I see Clemmy stepping up a lot this year, hopefully guarding some of the more tough matchups, better receivers on other teams that we're going to see. But keep an eye out for Peyton Williams running those crossing routes as tight end, hopefully get the ball on some goal line situations. And Caden Blankenship, senior, hasn't had a lot of varsity time, but I think he'll step up this year and really make some defense in the air. A younger guy, Jason Branscombe, looking for him to seal those gaps and be good on the line, hopefully make it to where Slate and our other running backs and sweepers can get around and get some yardage. And here on Whiteland Beat Sports Network, we'll be back in a minute. We're going on commercial break.
The Indiana Fever select.
The journey doesn't begin at number 1. It begins before anyone is watching. Before all eyes are on you. It's the journey that made you number 1. And from day 1, it's the extra you give. Extra work, extra hustle, extra sacrifice. And I don't mind being a little extra. And neither will our next number 1.
With the number 1 pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, the Indiana Fever select.
Welcome back to Whiteland Game Day. I know you've heard us talk a lot. We're going to kick it to an interview with Coach Darrin Fisher.
Lucas Corley here with the head coach of Whiteland Football, Darrin Fisher. Coach, another season getting ready to start here. Fans will remember that last year we opened the season at Jeffersonville. This year they come to our place, but it's a very different team. New coach. What have you seen on film from what you've been able to get and how they will differ from last year's team?
Well, I think two things. Number one, obviously with a new coach, they've got kind of a new energy. They've got some new schematics, and we really don't know what we're going to see on special teams yet. We've only seen their scrimmage video, so, what coach's philosophy on the scrimmage, I think we're going to have to be prepared for some things we just aren't ready for. Number two, they've got some guys out for football that haven't been out for football at Jeffersonville High School before. So athletically, talent-wise, they're better than they were last year. So those are the two things we notice.
When you come into a new season, obviously you have the whole summer of preparation. You had the scrimmage last week against Columbus East. What have you seen in that time of preparation that you like about this 2024 squad?
Well, I think what we've focused on really is together tough, and those are kind of two separate things that now we're molding them together. And that toughness is mental, physical, and emotional, and that only really happens when things get hard. So we've had to do that, and then that together part is that connectivity with a group of guys. So what I really like about this group is how connected they are together and how hard they play for each other and how hard they work for each other. And some years you have that, and some years you don't. The thing is that is a ever-changing, ever-evolving thing. Culture is an everyday thing of how you feel coming to practice today. There hasn't been a day that this group's come to practice that they haven't made. The coaches and the players all want to be here, so they've been great.
You've got some key returning seniors, especially in the offensive side of the ball in that line. Of course, Slate Valentine, Ale Taylor, guys that are very familiar with the offense. What do you like out of the group of returning seniors?
Well, I think the first thing is their connectivity to the rest of the group. You know what I mean? It's not about – some years it's about the seniors and everybody else. These guys, you know what I mean, they've included everybody in their quest to be how good can we be. They've really included everybody. And they – first of all, from a talent standpoint, obviously, they've all played a whole lot of football. We started 8 sophomores last year, and they're all back. There's 40 juniors and 19 seniors, and, we're kind of an upperclassman group. Last year, we were super young, and we were trying to race to maturity as fast as we can. And about this group, again, it's been about that connectivity, and we think that the seniors have led the way on that.
Finally, you'll be handling the offense again this year, but you've got a new defensive coordinator, Coach Zach Rudolph. What did you like about him that allowed you to bump him up to that role as defensive coordinator this year, and what's he been able to accomplish with the defense in the offseason?
Well, I think over the past 6 years, program-wide from grade 2 all the way till the varsity, we've established a system defensively that's taught well, that we understand the fundamentals, we understand the adjustments and the ins and outs, and we really didn't want to change that system, but the real reason is because Coach Rudolph's a great leader. He's a great person. He's high character. He's a great motivator. All the things. We say that coaching is 2 parts. You've got to capture the hearts and minds of your players, and I think Coach Rudolph does that in conjunction with the rest of those coaches that all know that system. And they've stepped. Coach Reese has stepped into a bigger role and done a great job with it. Coach Lampson has come to Whiteland, stepped into that role, done a great job of filling it. Coach Carpenter and Coach Molesky always do a great job. Coach Merriman always do a great job doing what they do. So luckily things have not really changed from a schematic and a teaching and a fundamental standpoint, but obviously the way that you capture the hearts and minds of your players. And, Coach Rudolph has done a fantastic job with that from the day he's been here, and there really wasn't any question of what needed to be done.
That's Darrin Fisher, head coach of Whiteland Football. Coach, best of luck in the season opener.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We have an opportunity to do something special, and I want to be part of it.
That's a shake of the basketball. Lob it up, yes! Throw it down!
We have a dream as an organization to be an NBA championship organization. People are going to find out about the Pacers.
Back here on Game Day, we're talking about the Jeffersonville Red Devils. It's going to be a tough game this week with a lot of transfers coming in to Jeffersonville, a lot of seniors playing, and we lost a few of our key players this last year. But what do you want to see from our defense facing Jeffersonville's offense this week?
The secondary is going to have to step up. Like Jonah Upchurch is getting a new corner first year, and then Jake Clemmy, and then obviously both the safeties, Clayton Ratliff and Game Blankenship, he's going to have to play a big role too because he's a new safety to this also. Because Jeffersonville, their coach is coming from a 7-on-7 background. He's going to throw the ball a lot, and they're going to have a ton of athletes that are quick and fast.
Yeah, with the 7-on-7 knowledge, he's going to throwing that ball. Our secondary is going to have to be on the best game they can. Our offense, though, what do you see coming out of our offense this week?
I mean, Jeffersonville, they're going to split their DNs out. Our offense is going to have to run a lot up the middle and just yard by yard get to the touchdown, to the end zone.
Yeah, we talk about those running backs getting the 100-yard game. That's the number. That's what I expect to see from Slate Valentine this week. I expect him to have the ball more than anybody else this game, as he always will. Just as long as the offense is able to open up gaps for Slate and he can get through, hopefully kick on that second gear, I think that it'll be a really good game if Slate can just do he usually does. Moving on from the Jeffersonville game, we have some mid-state picks. There's a few teams in our mid-state conference, and we just want to highlight a few of the games this week that we think are going to be crucial. So Greenwood is playing Seymour. I don't think Seymour's looking too good this year, but I think Greenwood, with losing most of their best players, I think that's going to be a tough game on them. But I still see Greenwood coming out on top and beating Seymour.
Yeah, they obviously lost Brock Riddle, but at the end of the day, it's going to be a high-scoring matchup between both of them. Neither of the defenses are very good, but the offenses can produce enough points to put on the board.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing for the Perry Meridian versus Franklin Central game. I see Perry Meridian potentially putting up a lot of points, but also at the same time giving up a lot of points. That 6A Franklin team is going to be a whole lot different than most of the teams Perry Meridian has to play on their schedule. I see it's going to be an offensive shootout.
Franklin Central has a bunch of athletes that are going to produce for them.
And then kind of the common topic, Decatur Central versus Columbus North. I see no contest in this game. I see Decatur Central obliterating Columbus North with Bo Polston and Empo Dodo going off this game. I don't know what you think, but
I see a close matchup. I think Columbus North has a ton of athletes that can play along with Decatur.
I don't know. I don't know if that secondary is going to be able to handle Bo Polston.
I guess we'll have to find out.
Well, thank you for joining us on Whiteland Game Day here on Whiteland Beat. We'll see you next week.